everyone, Alexa Donne here, and today I am going to be doing the part-time YouTuber tag. I don't normally do tags because I like to really feel the tags that I film, and I saw this one on Teresa is Dead's channel, makeup channel. I highly recommend, by the way. Teresa is fantastic, one of my wannabe YouTuber friends, and I loved that she did this tag. I too am a part-time YouTuber, and what I like about the tag is that it covers things that come up as frequently asked questions for me on this channel a lot. Because indeed, this one is for the part-time YouTubers where you have some other job and YouTube is not your full-time gig. I'm gonna link below to Teresa's channel as well as the link she included in her description, which must be the originator of the tag, Monica Adriana. So the first question is, what is your main gig? Do you work full-time? Are you a student, a parent? Spill the beans. I work full time. So I live that writer day job life. My day job, I work in television marketing in Los Angeles. So it's one of those full-time jobs, day jobs, where there's a little bit of writing in it, but not too much, which is actually a balance that I find perfect for me. I get to be marginally creative. The majority of the writing I do, it's either going to be consumer-facing copywriting, so very short and sweet, very brand-oriented, or B2B writing, so business emails, but also things like corporate e-blasts and so forth. So it's creative. Press releases too, forgot about it. I don't really enjoy writing press releases, but that's another story for another day. So it's a little bit of creativity, but for the most part, the job is all about logistics. I live that spreadsheet life in my day job. I'm figuring stuff out and budgets and deadlines, and I can use that organizational part of my brain that I also use for things like author, mentor, match. And it is a great way to pay the bills. It pays my bills. It gives me the peace of mind that I need to know that I know how my rent is being paid and my utilities and my bills, etc. So that I don't have to worry in terms of my writer life and my writing income, whether or not what I'm doing is enough to support me. So I do get that question a lot. Do you have a day job? Do you want to quit your day job? And for me, the answer is, at this juncture, absolutely not, because I like my salary, I like the peace of mind, I like my health insurance, and I love that I'm fully vested with my 401k matching. Save for retirement, kids, very, very important. And I have, and my 401k is in a very healthy place right now. And that peace of mind is really helpful for me. The second question is, what made you want to start YouTube? This one's fun because obviously the assumption is that someone like me would want to start YouTube to promote my books. And honestly, that is not why I started YouTube, and it certainly definitely colors the advice I give to people for AuthorTube. Honestly, I just love giving advice. It's both a good thing and a deep character flaw in the sense that I just love helping people. I love so I've always loved advice forums. I used to haunt Yahoo Answers and rack up all those points that you would get, and I've done student helper things. I was an RA. It is this aspect of my personality. That's why I'm a mentor. I really probably should have been a teacher or a counselor, and in fact that is what all the career aptitude tests told me to do. And did I listen? No. And yet kind of sideways slid myself into that career. The college essay consulting I do as well. So I love helping, I love teaching, I love giving advice. And I've always loved the authors who gave me advice. So huge fan of Susan Dennard and everything Susan Dennard does, her newsletter, her blog. Beth Revis was another one who I just have always really admired, how she gives practical writing and publishing advice, them and many other authors on panels. And I knew, and I did light advice on my blog for years when I was aspiring, but I always knew there were certain things that it wouldn't be appropriate for me to talk about or give advice on until I had proof of the pudding. So getting an agent, getting a book deal, and then I was preparing of ooh, and I'll give really pragmatic publishing advice, and I'll talk about all the things that people don't normally talk about. I want to have an advice channel where I talk about money in publishing and submission in publishing, and it was just me burning to share and be as transparent as possible about all the things that I found really helpful to know when I was coming up, but that I actually didn't necessarily hear from public advice channels. A lot of it was back channel talk and things that I didn't think needed to be back channel talk. I tried Twitter, and I just never had a thread that took off. I've just never been viral on Twitter, so it didn't scratch the itch. I tried blogging, as I said, but like the era of blogging was like kind of dying out. Like I just never got the eyeballs on my blog. And I tried Wattpad, and like it just same thing. It wasn't scratching the itch. So I decided to try YouTube. And I had a podcast at the time as well, so I was also familiar with podcasting, and it's like the part of my brain that's like problem solving, and I was like, I need a platform with reach where I have the potential for reach and engagement, because you know, I just wanted to reach more people with practical, pragmatic writing and publishing information. And that's why I joined YouTube. Everything else that has come since then has been bonus and gravy for me, including being monetized. Like, yeah, I make a decent chunk of money off this month to month now, which blows my mind. Having it actually sell books is also just a bonus. It wasn't what I set out to do, which is always good because it's never gonna sell as many books as you think it is. The ROI is a little wibbly wobbly. And another kind of bonus that came from it is just like, I like that it's like a platform that I control. So anytime I feel out of control in publishing, you know, where the things that are out of your hands in traditional publishing, I like that I have this channel and it's like the thing that I own. So all of that was bonuses. I started this because of a burning desire to give advice. So 3, what is your channel about? Do you stick to one niche or do you cover a few? I mean, if you're here, you know, I am a writing and publishing YouTube channel, though occasionally I talk about reading because I like reading. It's that niche content that some people like. I used to attempt to do like some makeup videos and some skincare videos, but like the algorithm wins out, and I do tend to focus on writing and publishing. It is definitely my bread and butter. The 4th question is, did you always know YouTube would be a side gig, or do you ever want to be a full-time YouTuber? As I already said, I never really thought of this as a side gig. I never expected it to make me money, and I definitely have no designs on being a full-time YouTuber. It's just not a practical goal in the writer space, in the author tube space. If I were doing more like video essays, like higher level video essays, like a lot of the channels I like to watch that have the potential to go past 500K, to go past 800K, to even hit 1 million, it might be a different ball game, but it's pretty bonkers that this channel is as big as it is. And like, there's definitely a ceiling to the writer YouTube space, author tube space, but also things are just so fickle and they change so rapidly. No, I have zero designs on being a full-time YouTuber. It is now definitely a side gig, but it remains not about making money for me. I think of it as a nice bonus because I have a day job. Like, things would be very different if I didn't have my day job, but because I have my day job, it's a nice bonus for me. That said, I have had like vague thoughts, because what makes this part-time YouTuber tag interesting to someone who the YouTube is about a different side hustle writer, I have entertained dream notions of what if I were a full-time writer and then I could give more time to YouTube. That would be interesting. There are all sorts of things I could do more on YouTube, but I don't have specific designs of that because, as I said, we love health insurance, we love a regular salary. But generally, I also think that you have to be careful about like being a full-time YouTuber if you don't have a strategy or long-term plan for having it not just be YouTube. The most successful people are those who don't expect YouTube to continue forever, but who branch out and strategize and plan. So whether that's launching brands or courses or whatnot, but like only if they do those things well. I think it's exceedingly hard to do those things well and basically become a brand unto yourself, which is a whole level of like entrepreneurship and influencer culture and whatnot that is kind of scary and daunting, but yeah. The 5th question is, what is your schedule like? When do you film and when do you edit? So I have a pre-pandemic and a post-pandemic answer. So my pre-pandemic schedule was I would batch film on Saturdays and Sundays, like 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 4 videos at a time, and then I would edit them during the week, and I would have like anywhere from 4 to 8 videos ready to go, and I would post 3 times a week. Since the pandemic, that has changed. I just don't have the mental bandwidth anymore. The irony being I'm home more than ever and theoretically have more time than ever to film because I day job from home now, but I've actually really pulled back. I rarely batch film anymore because I found with my last book deadline in 2021 that I had to pull way back on my posting schedule in order to balance all of the balls I have up in the air in my real life and my publishing life. And so now the schedule is approximately once a week. Every once in a while I pull out a twice a week again, but I've tried to balance it with more live streaming than I ever did in the past when I was pre-filming and posting 3 times a week. So now it's more like at least 1 pre-filmed video a week and then the occasional live stream, sometimes 2 a week. So I no longer batch film on weekends. I like kind of figure out what my next video is going to be. Sometimes I'm 2 videos ahead and I might film like 1 video on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, or do a lunch hour on a weekday for work. And I film 1 to 2 days before I plan to post something, and then I edit it at night and then get it up. So I'm a lot more on the fly now, which is good and bad. I have less in the can to kind of post, but I'm able to pivot a lot faster on interesting topics that come up. So like the bad art friend, I saw that, was able to digest my own feelings about it, film, edit, and get something up within 48 hours, which I wouldn't have necessarily done before. And I have tried to make up for my modified schedule by being as meaty as humanly possible in the videos I do post. It's also more vlogs, and vlogs take a lot longer to edit, which is another reason it's like if there's a week with a vlog, that vlog took me a really long time to film and edit. So yeah. Question number 6, how do you keep your YouTube channel organized? Do you plan videos ahead or just film what you feel like? So I have always had and continue to have Google Docs. Every quarter roughly I have one. So like my current one is winter 2021, 2022. My previous one was summer fall 2021, and I just vomit ideas into it. And as I'm feeling inspired, I create outlines from the ideas that have a little bit of steam. And then either like I'll do that and go, oh, I'm definitely filming this like right away, and I'll film it right away. Sometimes it's just like I get the ideas in there when I have them and then I come back to them later. Especially if I'm thinking, oh no, I haven't posted this week. I'll go to the Word doc, I'll look it over. Sometimes I comb through old ones because once I film something, I sort it into a film section. And so I have all these old Google Docs of like a graveyard of video ideas that I didn't end up doing. And when the spark hits, and then I film. The 7th question is, how do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Would you ever do one on your channel? I do not have a problem with sponsored videos. Get your coin. Creators need to do what they need to do. That said, I think that creators have to be very, very careful. I get a lot of sponsorship requests. No, I have never done a sponsorship on this channel. I'll talk a bit about why, but you know, for creators, there's a lot of noise, and there's a lot of especially like new brands and products that will reach out, and some of the emails you get are really, really sketchy. You have to be super circumspect about who you agree to work with. I'll say as a viewer, every once in a while I get annoyed with sponsorships, and you probably do too. There's like a vague sadness to the creator who all of a sudden they don't make any content unless it's sponsored content, and you can tell that they've come up with topics just to highlight the sponsored content. I always appreciate it when a creator makes what they were gonna make anyway and finds a really weird way to insert the sponsorship. I always give like kudos and props to those videos. And so like as a creator, of course, I'm like, I get it, they need to be sponsored, but I can definitely think of a few channels where it's like you don't even want to click on the videos anymore because you know that that 3-minute video is actually just an ad, that it's not really the same substantive content that someone had before they blew up and went viral. So some channels I think are better at incorporating sponsorships than others. Enemy, why have I never done a sponsorship? It is honestly just for me. Well, at first it was, I will never endorse something that I don't feel ethically comfortable endorsing. That 100%. And especially because I have a day job. I have writing income as well. This is legit my third thing, my third source of income and my side hustle. I do not need YouTube money to survive, to live off. It's all bonus. And my AdSense is good, so I don't feel the need to pursue sponsorships. And so I'm definitely never gonna do a sponsorship where like it's something that is shady. If I'm going to be sponsored by something, and I have considered a few of the ones that have come my way that were definitely from products that I thought were good, that I either used myself or wanted to try out, and I had that split second of considering it. But for me, it has boiled down to bandwidth. Now that I finally get good offers, and I'd say I started to get decent offers in 2020 and 2021, the bandwidth required, because essentially when you take a sponsorship, it's an extra layer of job. It's work, at least if you're gonna do it right. And I think that for the good products, the best sponsorships that both pay the most and are for the best products, they have requirements. There are things you have to do to be sponsored. It can include receiving products, trialing them, filming clips of you using them, cutting them together. You have to talk about the thing anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 minutes. The brand has to approve what you say. You have to send them the video for pre-approval. It's a lot of work. And I guess in a certain sense it should be. You are earning those dollars, and I just don't have the bandwidth to do the extra work, honestly. That's why I haven't done a sponsorship. Like, there are a couple of brands I've very seriously gotten this close to saying yes, but then I've gone, I don't need the money, and oh, that's extra work, and I've got a deadline at work, and I've got a deadline for books, and I just can't mentally handle that stress and responsibility. That's a me specific thing. That said, what I have done, and I've always disclosed it, so I have never been sponsored. I have never received funds for talking about a product, never signed an agreement where they're like, we'll pay you $300 for a video, though gosh, I think people receive a lot more than that. I have received free product in exchange for a review and or to do a giveaway. So I've done this with Clever Fox multiple times, and I've always disclosed they send me the planners for free. I don't pay for them, though I've bought Clever Fox planners with my own money before because I like them. And then I do a giveaway. And with the Freer Traveler, I also disclosed they sent me the product for review, and I think of that more journalistically. And if someone wants to send me something, but they want me to agree to terms that I don't agree with, especially any that I feel would compromise my ethics, I say no. And then I talk all the time about products that like are literally hashtag not sponsored because I bought them with my own money and I like them. So I personally just take very, very seriously the power that I have potentially as an influencer. So weird. But like when you have a platform and people trust you and you have parasocial relationships, you, I think, have to really be careful what products you talk about and what you endorse. Because in some cases, like, you know, people will take someone's word as law, and we see people all the time like bend over backwards to spend money they don't have on something because their favorite person recommended it. And of course, it's really bad when people who do that don't disclose that it's a sponsorship or an affiliate relationship or that they received free product. But even when they do, there's like a higher burden placed on you when you have any kind of power on your platform to be careful about who you get into bed with business-wise. And the eighth and final question is, what do you think is the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time? There's never enough time. It's just, I mean, generally, isn't that just modern life? It's the currency of time. And especially because my YouTube channel isn't just, oh, I'm doing, you know, if this were a makeup channel or a commentary channel, it would just be the YouTube work, but that part and parcel of being a writer on YouTube, an author on YouTube, is it's never just the YouTube, it's also that I am a professional writer on the side as well. And so it's the day job, it's that work, and then the YouTube in the middle. And it's just a lot. And again, it's why I've pulled back in the last year or so, like understanding my limits and like trying to balance still giving you guys content that is good, but also I don't like to compromise on making content I enjoy. And that has like hurt me in the algorithm. And that's where I'm glad that this is not a primary income stream for me and I don't need to live off of this, that I can just do what I want when I want it. But yeah, the hard part of doing it part-time is always going to be time. Like you do think like, oh, the things I could do if I had more time. I think another challenge of doing it part-time, like, and this isn't like a woe is me, but like the choices that we make. Because it's part-time and because I do not depend on this to sustain me, there are all sorts of things that I know that I could do that would be really, really cool if I did this as like a thing and hired people to help me do the things that I know that I am limited in doing myself. And I do think sometimes like, oh, I could probably deliver really cool content to people, but just like the bandwidth it would take to elevate this to more than just a side gig. No, I'm not gonna do it. Because ultimately for me at the end of the day, like I really like YouTube, and if I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it, which generally my advice if you're thinking of starting a channel, definitely do it. But do it because you want to, and do it because you love it. If you don't enjoy YouTube, definitely don't do YouTube. It's just not worth it. But for me, what's gonna win every single time is the writing. The writing comes first. The writing came first. Before I had a channel, I was writing and selling books. And so like when push comes to shove, I always have to choose where to allocate my bandwidth, and at the end of the day I write books. I'm kind of wandering off from that last question but into a conclusion. I think this tag's really, really interesting. I enjoy YouTube as a part-time thing, but because it's a part-time thing for me, it definitely informs like my choices for better or for worse of how I approach the channel. I mean, for better, those of you who love vlog life, the reason you get more vlogs, other than I listen to the people and I give you more vlogs, it's just as long as I remember to actually film them and then like suck up the effort to edit them. I really hate editing vlogs. It goes along nicely in a parallel to actually doing the thing. I am a writer. And then like, so the YouTube channel content is dictated by that. And also that like, I'll talk about topics that are relevant and come up in my publishing life, for better or for worse. I think that if this was a full-time thing, like I'd have more time and bandwidth and incentive, because I'd probably be trying to make more money off of this, to put out a lot more generalized content, to do a lot more of like the teaching side stuff, which I still do every once in a while and enjoy doing. But I mean, personally, my favorite content is discussion style, but I have to have something worth discussing. Though I do love a good listicle, yeah. So yeah, that was a really fun tag. I'm glad I did it. As I said, I'm gonna link down below to Teresa is Dead if you like makeup content and you're looking for someone like real with a sassy potty mouth who like covers a wide variety of makeup. Teresa covers the mainstream but also a lot of indie stuff, and one of my favorite things that Teresa does is makeup bingo, new makeup bingo, where she like just goes through all of the upcoming releases and like talks about them and is like a little sassy and like does a bingo card, and the video ends when she hits bingo. And my favorite thing is that the free square is, oh, another color pack release. I just love being a little like meta about makeup, so I really love Teresa is Dead's channel. And I just also love hearing when like someone whose channel you love and you watch is like really open and upfront about how this is a side gig and we have full-time jobs and other things going on. So definitely make this tag if you're interested. I feel like a lot of us writers are doing this YouTube as a part-time thing, but also the writing, and we're like balancing all those different things. So I think it would be really cool to see this tag go through author tubes. So definitely do the tag if you want to do it. The questions are down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, because honestly it helps me in the algorithm, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching and happy writing.